All right, now our final group, making the final pitch from McAllen High School, we have Vinetium.
Hello and good morning. My name is Jason Murphy, and I'm proud to present our company, Vinetium. I'd like to start by introducing my partner, because without him, none of this would be possible. This is Antoine Lienamog, our head of organization and management. Vinetium, we see what you can. Now, what exactly is Vinetium? We are a drone service and surveillance company whose purpose is to deliver high-quality drone video and images. Our goals are to grow as a company and become a large community support builder. Now, how are we going to do this? We're going to start by acquiring our first 3 drones. After that, you can place a service application form on our website that will alert us to your needs, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. We're going to be promoting our business through local TV, radio, and social media ads, and we're going to be trying to work very tightly with the McAllen Chamber of Commerce to help get a little bit of insight on the industry and kick off our business.
Now, we have very high expectations for our company, so we have a TAM, SAM, and SOM detailing the estimated value of our business. Now for our TAM, we estimate $292 million. This is for the United States drone market. For our SAM is the Rio Grande Valley drone market, which is $20.4 million. And for our SOM is the local drone market, which would be around $408,800. $155 are our essential development costs, these being the drone pilot license, Part 107 course, and the hobby pilot's license. These are essential to allow us to legally use our drones for our services. We also have $700 in advertising, these being social media, flyers, comics, posters, and whatever we can get our hands on. To offset these expenses, we also have 3 streams of revenue, these being drone services, specialized service contracts, and drone classes. On the topic of startup costs, we've put together a spreadsheet detailing the budget for every item needed to start our business. We wanted to keep our startup costs low so we can get into business as soon as possible. It totals to around $6,882 for startup. We also put together a financial forecast graph displaying the growth of our company throughout the years. In the first year, our expenses will be quite high due to the various startup costs needed to set a foothold in the industry. In the second year, these expenses start to level out, we start to turn a profit, and in the third year, expenses will be at an all-time low, and of course, sales and profits at an all-time high. Now, for expenses, a part of that is operational costs. Our operational cost comes up to $13.86 per hour. It's quite high, but eventually, as I mentioned earlier, we expect to have this operational cost go down, and of course, we will start turning a profit.
Now, as we know, life can be incredibly unpredictable, but the survival of our company is most important to us. And that is why we have worked a business continuity plan right into our model to ensure the survivability and the vitality of the company. And this basically means that if a partner drops out or if there's any change in partnership, their shares will be reallocated to the remaining partner.
So far, our company has 2 drones that we have to offer. First being the Herodotus, our lower-end version, and the Chronicler, our higher-end version. Now the Herodotus is a lower price point, allowing it to be more accessible to the general consumer, people who don't have the money to break the bank but still need quality drone services. Now our Chronicler is the best that we have to offer. It has high quality, pristine film and pictures, and it's more catered towards more serious consumers. The reason it has a higher price point is because of the more complicated systems that require a greater amount of expertise to operate. But with the increased qualities that it has, it's also able to combat pollution in a better way. Let's say you have a beach full of pollution, little pieces of bottle caps that you can't see too well. Now, these drones can take pictures of that and send that data to databases that can use that to better combat pollution. And let me clarify, these are drones that we use for our services. We are not selling these drones.
Now, as a company, it's important that we not only benefit ourselves, but benefit the community around us. How we're going to do that is by taking full advantage of the versatility of the drone service industry. We can equip our drones with high-tech apparatus to monitor pollution in the water or in the air. We're going to be working tightly with environmental organizations to help keep our beaches clean and survey for trash. We can also help local businesses stay safe with security and surveillance. Now, let's talk about making an impact on a more individual level with our students. We're going to be providing our students with hands-on field experience, flying the drones, classroom business experience, teaching them how to organize and manage a business and get the financials down. And of course, we're going to be helping them get their certification and their proprietorship, helping them get their own license to go into business themselves. As you can see here, this is an example of how one of our drones can be used for either real estate or environmental purposes, surveying over this beach. And I'd like to thank you for your time and your consideration. But before we conclude our presentation, let me please direct you to our website. Now, if you go to the About Us tab, this is where you can learn a little bit more about our company and what we stand for. And this is a few of the services that we offer. Now, if I can redirect you to our Contact tab, this is where you can fill out one of our service application forms. They're incredibly easy to read and use. You'll put your name, your email address, and what kind of service you want us to provide for you, and we will get back to you as soon as possible with our equipment. And with that, we are Veneria.
We see what you can't.
I'll start. How old are you?
17.
How old are you?
17.
Guys, I am blown away with your presentation skills. Really, I have tears in my eyes. Your teacher, Mr. Garza, right? Mr. Garza, amazing kids.
Thank you, we really appreciate that.
I love the service. I might be biased because, like I said, this is what I do. You didn't have me on there as a competitor. I will be a competitor unless I hire you because you all blew me away. So I didn't have any questions. I just wanted to say, we see what you can't. I love that. That's great. Great job, guys.
Okay, I do have a couple of questions. If you go back to what you're charging, you said it was $80 a day.
$80 a day, correct.
Okay.
So our base cost is about $13 to $14 an hour, and I basically multiplied that by 5 because a whole day, usually you wouldn't hire us for like a whole day. It's like a 5-hour, 7 hours of filming.
Okay.
And that equal to about $80 a day or $500 a week.
Okay, so when you say a day, I'm thinking an 8-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as a consumer. Other people may think 10 or 12 because again, you have to define a day. But I wanted to use that 8 hours as that metric. So if you're doing an 8-hour day, you're making $10 a day, or I mean $10 an hour. Now fast forward to the cost of the drones. Keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, right there. So if you're making $10 an hour, but it's costing you $13.86 an hour, when do you plan on actually making revenue?
Well, no, this is how much we'll be charging an hour. So depending on how long you hire us, we'll multiply that by the number of hours that we're out there in the field.
Okay. So you're actually going to charge $13.86 an hour?
Correct.
Okay.
And then we're going to be doing that, plus we're going to be reaching out to local businesses, trying to get contracts and and get steady employment there.
Okay. Your competitors, are they local competitors or national competitors?
Yes, those are local competitors right here in the Valley.
Okay. And what do they charge an hour again? Do you know?
So we tried to get what they were charging an hour, but we weren't able to. They don't make it public, but
You didn't go to their website and fill out a service call? That's what you do, guys. You know? Because my other thought, too, is prior to drones, everybody used aerial means. And so I would say a competitor also could be, you know, your aerial guys that are charging $2 to $3 an hour to take photos and things of that nature. I just think that you're very low on your cost per hour, and you've got a lot of room to grow. Don't shortchange you because you don't have experience. And in order to actually understand what your value prop is, you need to know everything about your competitors, including how much they charge. Very important. And lastly, I wanted to see the things fly. Where are they at? You brought them out in the last one.
Oh, well, unfortunately, we weren't able to actually fly them in the auditorium.
Oh, we couldn't get a waiver from the super over here? Okay. That's all I got. Thank you. Oh, one last thing. What are the actual costs for the attachments for, you said that you can monitor pollution and things like that. Are those attachments already developed, or do you have to develop them? If they already developed, how much extra they cost?
That's an excellent question. So if you go back to our spreadsheet, we have all of the drones. So on this side, this is where we have each individual drone, and we have everything down to a penny on how much each individual drone will cost. And then of course, once we've gained more revenue, we can begin getting more sophisticated apparatus to equip with the drones. But this is like the base that we will be starting off with.
to add on to that, monitoring pollution, there is AI technology where if you take a picture of pollution, eventually the AI can learn what it looks like and just use that, send the data to databases. They'll use that information to better develop methods to combat pollution. So the base cost is just the cost of the drone itself. If you, later on, once we start to get more sales and profits, we can work on getting more attachments and more advanced things.
Okay, and one last question. If you go back to the very beginning slide where you have you versus your competitors, and you have kind of it listed out, yeah. So I didn't understand what the pollution silo is. Why do you have pollution and the other two don't have that? I don't understand that.
Well, the two competitors are mainly more just like taking pictures and just surveys. But we wanted to give back to our community. We wanted to help the environment as well, which is very important to us. So we wanted to have a means of combating pollution as well as doing other services.
Thank you.
Awesome presentation, guys. Are the costs to your services the same for all, for weddings, real estate? Is it the same for?
Depending on how complicated the task is.
Okay.
And the price will fluctuate, and then it also depends on how long you will hire us out. Obviously, if you're hiring us for a very long period of time, the cost will we'll do like kind of like a bundle. Like if you're hiring us for a very long period of time, or kind of cut a little bit of the cost.
That's also where our drones come into play.
Okay.
The Herodotus being lower price point and the Chronicler being a high price point.
Do y'all know what your competitors specialize in?
Oh yes, so mainly they specialize in doing flybys and recording. So they usually do like buildings here in McAllen.
Okay.
I know that they do a little bit of work in construction too.
Just a suggestion, you can always compete in price, but as you're developing your firm, you offer those services, which is great, but the opportunity would be to specialize and where you can actually charge more. So I think maybe just showing a roadmap to where you're trying to compete now, you're doing it in price now, but at a certain point as entrepreneurs, you're gonna decide, are we beating the competition because we're cheaper, or are we beating them because, yeah, we charge a lot, but look at how we do our weddings. Okay, so just a suggestion.
Great concept. I love the professionalism Love the suits. You're letting us know in a visual way that you're really serious about your product and about this presentation. On this slide, the competition slide, I think it was already said, but I would omit the experience. You know, don't let us know that you don't have experience. I wouldn't even put it up there. Let's talk a little bit about marketing, and I think this kind of goes with all of our groups, but I think that we're underestimating how much it costs to market a product. And your product can be great, you can check all the boxes where everything else is concerned, but if you don't have the marketing and even the advertising, which are different, by the way, a lot of people think they're the same thing, you're kind of shortchanging yourself, right? So $700 is your budget, right? Yes, it is, okay. $700 is your budget, but you want to go into newspaper, into radio, into TV, into social media. That's not going to cut it. $700 is not going to cut it. And then you talked about the Chamber of Commerce, which I love that you mentioned the Chamber, but that's not free either, right? So if you're going to want to advertise with the Chamber or get involved with the Chamber, you're going to have to look into membership and paying membership dues. So those are just things to take into consideration. I would also think about word choice when you're talking about your customer. So with Ms. Gonzalez, she's a pro at this, but you know, this is a learning experience for me. So you mentioned serious customers. So for our more serious customers, you need this drone as opposed to this drone. I don't know if I'm a serious customer. So for the, how do you say it, Herodotus?
Herodotus.
Herodotus, okay, so I don't know, like say I want you to film a wedding. I'm pretty serious about that. You know, maybe it's for my daughter's wedding and I want to make sure that I get all of those details in there. So I'm still not sure which one is going to be right for me. So just kind of take that into consideration when you're talking to your customers as well. That's all I had.
To add to that, maybe instead of serious, you do it based on technicality of what's needed and what's not needed, and therefore you also may have a different price point for each drone, because one's more technically advanced. Your starting price is this, and I would suggest your $80 a day is a base price. So your base price to even show up is X amount of dollars, and then based on how much video, like if you're doing a wedding, you're going to charge X amount of dollars per 30 minutes. I mean, you can even copyright some of that to where they can't distribute it somewhere else. I mean, there's so many things you can do on this. Just expand it out a little bit and refine it. You guys are very close to being there. Now, do any of you have your drone licenses already?
No, not yet.
How long does it take to actually get your drone license and to get certified and to get everything up and going?
Around 6 weeks.
Around 6 weeks. And is there a certain age in which you have to be to get your drone license?
No, just be in high school and you can get it.
Okay. So if you were to have that $6,800 today, you could be up and running in 6 weeks and making money.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Yes.
Okay. You may want to come to Aisha so she's not a competitor, and maybe she's got $1,600 in her purse right now. Because you don't want to compete against her. I'm just saying. But thank you. Any other questions?
No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.